Welcome back. Now let's go ahead and actually move over to this add detail view screen or composable, because we still haven't done that. So let's go over to our navigation here. This navigation is taking care of our composables, as you know, right? So we need to have another composable which will take care of the second screen, which will not be the home screen, but the add screen root. And it should not open our home view, but it should open our add detail view with an ID. And I'm going to give the ID of 0L, which basically means we are not passing any item over. Then the view model, we're going to use our wish view model, which we get from up here. And the nav controller, we're going to use the nav controller, which we also get from up here. Okay, so let's use the nav controller. So this registers now our second screen, and we're currently not passing any specific details over that we have generated dynamically. We will add that later. But for now, we should be able to move to this extra screen. And where would we want to move to that screen from? Well, we would want that to happen once we are inside of our home view and we click on the add button, for example. So on this floating action button. So that's why we want to navigate. So here, this home view now needs to have, whenever we want to call the home view, it needs to have the nav controller, as well as let's also add the view model, because we're going to need it anyways, right? We want to display the data accordingly and modify the data via our view model. Now that we have our nav controller, or the nav controller will be passed to us once we click on this fab button, so here floating action button, we can now go ahead and actually run some code where we're going to use the nav controller to navigate to our screen dot add screen dot root. So this is it. This is basically passing us over to that other screen. So let's see if we can actually move over to this other screen, or if we have something wrong still. Yes, we do. Yeah, our home view now obviously needs a nav controller as well as a view model. So we're going to pass the nav controller as well as the view model in here. We get them from navigation. Now our navigation, let me just make sure that we have in main activity, we have all of these details, and we don't. So we just have the navigation as is, which should still be fine because we are defining them here already. So we're saying by default use the view model, and by default use the remember nav controller objects that we are creating. So now let's see, this is the moment of truth where we are basically moving over to a separate screen. There we are. Let's click on the plus button, and the fab button was clicked, and we are moved over to this add wish screen. Perfect. So our user interface is pretty much ready. Let me just see what happens when I click on the back button, and you see nothing happens. So let's take care of that in the next video, but then we're pretty much very close to being done for today, because all of the logic behind data storage I want to do tomorrow. So see you in the next video.